we go. So welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. Today we are going to be talking about and going through what we need to be thinking about when we are competing, growing and thriving in our business. So what I want you to do first of all is just grab hold of a pen and a piece of paper, because you're going to take loads of notes through this. And I want you to get into a very selfish mindset, if you like, a very focused mindset on you and your business, and really disseminate and filter down from what I'm going to share with you today, and get as many points as you can down that are right for you. So what you're going to do when you go through this information is, it's either going to be resonating with you immediately, that you know that you need to go and take action on that particular point. That one probably needs to be maybe in a different color pen. Yeah, so something that you can highlight. The second piece is then maybe something that you think, well, that's probably a good idea and needs a bit more thinking. And the third thing is probably stuff that you're already doing anyway. So do take that filter through as you go through. Again, welcome everybody who's just joining us as well. So my name's Ed. I am the senior partner in Action Coach. I own and run the territory based in Hinckley, and I look after the local businesses around the area, helping them to support them through this crisis, and many other things, growing maybe team issues that they might have, or even time. So a lot of the business owners I work with, I'm sure you're the same as well, actually very busy, and sometimes we just need to be able to find the time to switch off a little bit. We ran a webinar yesterday for our clients, a guest speaker called Paul McGee, who wrote a book called Zumo, and he called it the full stop. Where's your full stop? So sometimes I have to work with my clients to find that full stop. So today is about looking at the must-dos to get your business to compete, grow and thrive. And one of the things to hone in on straight away is actually thinking about where your mindset is right now. And if you just take a view of this slide at the moment where we've got lockdown, COVID happening, we've got things that are happening to our business, things that are happening in our family. There's so much stuff going on. There is a huge roller coaster of change, but how we act and react to that is incredibly important. So it's not to say that mourning and anger and a feeling of loss or detachment is to be ignored. It absolutely isn't. It's very relevant, and very natural to feel that way. What we do need to do is to recognize it and adapt and move our minds where possible forward as quickly as we can, so that we can break through that, make a decision to actually come out of the other side and start exploring and searching for the new, and sort of reattaching our minds to a positive outset. Now, this is very real for all of us. Okay, so I'm not just sitting here as a coach saying, well, everybody needs to be like this. I feel this way too on occasions. This feeling of loss or out of control because there's so much stuff going on. But it's then being able to hold myself to account to say, okay, that's where I am right now. How do I break through? How do I shift my mindset forward? So I do want you to have that in your head as we go through today as well. But be really clear on this, that the choice is yours ultimately about how you feel and how you take yourself forward. Some of you I know on the call will have seen this already. This is the point of power, or the line of power. And what a lot of people are doing, and I'm hearing, is that they come up and come forward with a bunch of blame, excuses and denial. So there's a lot of feeling of like, well, why me? Why is this happening? to my family, to me, etc. And actually, what we want to do is raise our minds to be above that line or above that point, and start taking ownership of what's happening, and accountability of what we can, and responsibility of what we can. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that everybody always stays in blame, excuses, and denial, or everybody always stays at ownership, accountability, and responsibility. It's about recognizing where we are in the moment and pulling ourselves from beneath the line to above the line. So you'll hear me as a coach, if you work with me, if I hear things that are below the line, I will ask that point. I'll say, are you below the line here or above the line? And how can you get above the line? And it just, again, just triggers that mindset just to move yourself to okay, so how can we do this? How can we break forward and break through? And this is where the energy really comes from. If you have a bunch of blame, excuses, and denial going through your mind and coming out of your mouth, actually, you're taking power away from yourself. You become very powerless. Whereas ownership, accountability, responsibility, it's actually very energizing to be able to shift yourself in that way. So have when you're looking at ownership, accountability, responsibility, ask these questions. Actually, what's next? How can we push forward? How can we serve and sell what we do in our business more? How can we stay open-minded, open in terms of business? And actually, how can we care? How can we care for people around us and support others that are there as well? We'll hear these things with blame. It's Boris's fault that we're doing, that we're in lockdown. He's changed the rules yet again. It's only 2 days ago this happened. 1 minute we're eating out to help out. Now you've got to stay in to make sure that you don't spread the virus and get out the pub before 10. Excuses, there isn't time. There's so much stuff going on. I just don't have time to do it. You'll hear that coming from people. And also there's denial. Actually, I had a post that I was linked into on social media, and someone was saying, why is all this issue around COVID going around? It's a conspiracy theory, and there's just denial there for some people, unfortunately. So look, what I want you to do, I want you to just take this away and have a think about where you are on this point of power or this line of power. Recognize when blame, excuses, and denial might be coming out of your mouth, or you're hearing it, or even hearing it from your partners, your business partners, and your team. And just encourage yourself and your team and others just to shift their mind to be above that point, taking ownership, taking accountability, and taking responsibility. And I do love the English language for the words that are there. Ownership. You've got your ship. Your ship's your business. It might be your family, it might be your friends, but that's your ship, and you own it. So take ownership of that. Accountable. You're taking. You're able to take account of the actions that you have in front of you, or the thinking that you have, and responsible. You are able to respond to the situation. So you can do all those things. Actually, that choice just becomes much more open. Okay, so that's about the mindset. Appreciate where you are on that change curve. Recognize it. It's okay to be there, just not okay to be there for very long, and shift yourself forward. Have an accountability partner that might be able to help you with that as well. Right, now we're going to get into the sort of nuts and the bolts of this session. But before I do that, what I'd like to do is in the chat, could you just drop in there for me the type of business that you're in and the challenges that you're having. So the type of business that you're in and the challenges that you're having. That'd be really useful to see in the chat to go through. Just take a couple of minutes to do that. Okay. Okay, right. Well, we can see that in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on some of those as we run through. For those of you still doing it, just take that time, type of businesses that you're in, and the challenges that you're having. Right. So there are 9 things that I want to go through with you today. So I do want you to, um, as you write your notes through, just take a stage approach to just number the pieces that are in here, have a little look at the salient points or the important points for you that you can take away and start to work on. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you again for everyone putting that in. Super. Thank you. Okay. So first thing, re-educate and prepare. So we've come from a lockdown basis into an ease of lockdown where we have started to reopen and but consistently local rules are changing. So if you're living in the Leicester area, local rules are different to national rules. The national rules are changing as well. So it's really difficult to kind of keep up with things that are there, but keep up we must so that we can do the right things in the right way. So we need to be educating ourselves and preparing our own mindset as well throughout that. There's a lot of good common sense rules that you might need to put in place in your own business that you can test your own system. So if you've got premises, for example, there are a set of guidelines, of course, from the government, but everyone's slightly different. You've probably experienced this as you go into different shops and retail outlets that you recognize that people are doing things differently. And I would sit back and look at what you think the customer might see. So almost walk in the shoes of the customer, look through their eyes and give yourself a bit of a COVID score, if you like. What do you see that's good or could be improved? Now, I've been into some retail outlets and they are absolutely superb. They've got everything right from welcoming you to understanding what the system is when you're in their store to stations for cleaning your hands or anything that you might touch, service. They welcome you in a way that's respectful and supportive as well. And there are other businesses that I've been into that actually, quite frankly, don't seem to care. And they've got no systems really in place. They might have a sign on the door. They're not wearing masks themselves or anything like that. And it can even unconsciously create something in the mind that says, do I really want to be coming back into this business and spending my money here? So look, have a think about you, be really honest with yourself and where you might be and what you might need to change. Cleanliness is going to be mega important as we go forward. So we've got to keep doing that. Got to keep putting our PPE in place. And I'm starting to see signs now as well, as I go around retailers in particular, of maybe a lack of discipline, should we say, to be more kinder. There's a lack of discipline around keeping things up to date and keeping things looking fresh. But people around you, they must have confidence in you by them seeing and feeling safe in the environment. And people need that confidence in you. And remember that everyone's different. So everyone will react differently to an environment, react differently to what's going on around you or going on around them. And you've got to have that empathy with them. And you'll have your own perspective on that, which is absolutely relevant, but you also need to recognize that other people will. So the key bit here is about being flexible. So, if you're looking at people here, we've got a coach, someone in interior design, house cleaning, utility warehouse, they're all slightly different businesses that will meet people in slightly different environment. So you being flexible with your customers is going to be absolutely key to ensure that you're doing what you need to do for them. So the second part is about you really rebuilding your team. So not building your team, but actually rebuilding your team. Biggest piece here is about communication. You've got to communicate. If you've got team or you've got staff, you've got to communicate constantly with them. Give them confidence. Let them know where you're going and what's happening. This is going to be the detachment as you from a leadership perspective away from, I guess, being above the point on what's happening for you and your business, but giving them confidence and support. And anything that's kind of really going on probably needs to be separate away from the team. There will be things that you will share, and you can be empathetic, of course, but be careful what you do share, because whatever you say and you do share, if it's too negative, will roll onto them. That'll affect their performance. That could affect how they work with customers and clients, which will mean ultimately that that could affect your business as well. So they might be scared about the environment, any potential harm to them or what they might do. So just give them confidence and explain what they can expect when they come back, if they come back. I would, within your, obviously we've been asked now to do more virtual again, so go back and work from home a little bit more, but do consider them, make it a two-way conversation with the team. Make sure that they have an input into that, and also make sure that they understand the risks associated with being at work as well. I think that it's just good to be open and communicate in an open way. You also think about the fact that, well, I see one of my jobs as building my community, building the business community and supporting the businesses. That's why I put these sessions on. And it's about making sure that people can take one or two things to just improve. But accept, like, when you're communicating with your team, you may lose people. Even with the greatest of plans that are in place, you may lose people through, I don't know, childcare, for example, that they need to deal with in a slightly different way. Personally here, I would make sure that when you're communicating with your team, I would have more meetings, not less, but keep them a lot shorter. Keep checking in both with them as a group and individually. Particularly if people are virtual, you need to be talking to them every single day just to make sure they're okay. That could be a WhatsApp message, that's okay, but making sure that they're okay, they know what work's got to be done, they understand what challenges that's in front of them, or maybe they are sharing with you the challenges they might have, and you can work that through, and maybe even at the end of the day to see how they've done. Do expect to see a reduction in productivity. I've seen this a lot in businesses where people are coming back, and productivity, it's almost like people have disconnected and they've forgotten about actually what they should be doing or what they were employed to do. Consider it almost as like re-onboarding them into the business. And where I've worked with clients that have done that, they've done it really well, and the productivity has increased back to where it was previously much quicker than those that haven't done it. Is a really big learn actually for that. But and also take sort of that mindset that everyone's new. Communicate to them as if they were, and work with them and have that two-way conversation with them. Okay, as I go through this, because I appreciate that you're on the chat and I'm talking a lot, please do throw any questions or anything that you might have, even if it's to share an experience. please put it in the chat. I'll gladly read that out for everybody. It's always useful to get your perspective and point of views as well across this. Okay, so point number 3. So to get this competitive growth and thrive back into your business, one of the things that you need to be looking at are, renew with deals. So consider your different target audiences. So, whether you're in interior design or whether you're house cleaning, you probably have variant different target audiences. And there's probably going to be probably 20% of your customer base will give you a large sum, that Pareto's law of 80-20, but a large sum of your revenue. So think about deals, not discounts, okay, because you're going to need the cash flow. So try and add value where you possibly can, but deals will be really good. So, adding something on at a lower cost, which doesn't really affect your margin, or maybe a speed delivery, or maybe an additional, like from a cleaning point of view, it could be, an additional germ eradicator, to try and get rid of in the nooks and the crannies that you're doing on the top of what you would normally do. So do have a think about what you can do for your top customers to keep them and keep that cash flow coming in. Also think about the deals that you might be able to do for frontline and key workers. It's a pretty common one out there. So when you see discounts for NHS or discounts for key workers and so on, I think that's a really nice thing to do. But actually, there's a lot of people that are doing that, so it doesn't get you to stand out so much. It's quite common. So have a think about this. Who is in your market that deserves a reward? Who deserves that extra little discount or little deal that you might want to support. Think about your existing customers as well. What sort of offer would bring them out? From an interior design perspective, what sort of offer would actually get them really excited about having you around and coming to have a consultation with you? Or what sort of offer from a confidence coach perspective might you be able to put forward to be able to help the people who right now might be faltering? Sometimes what I've seen, and I'm sure you have, and maybe you've experienced it yourself, is that your existing customers that use you already, some of them are a little bit wary and hesitant about coming out of their own homes to begin with, particularly now with this second set of constraints in the UK. Some are going to be hiding a little bit more, maybe in a bit of shock, anger, or denial. So communicate with them. Don't lose touch. Make sure that that the great things that you were doing continue to do. Let them know that you're still doing the socially distant, you're still safe, and ask them, ask them to come and try us out. When you're doing any deal that you're doing, make sure it's at least a month long. You need to do that for 2 reasons. One, people change deals too quickly, and there's one this week, one next week, one the other, so people just can't keep up. And the second piece is actually you want to be able to test and measure the impact that your deals are having on your business. And if you change too many things too soon, you won't know which one affects your business. So aim to keep it at least a month before you change anything, and not necessarily discounting, but adding great value. And the other thing I'd say on this, when you're looking at restarting in your business or setting deals out, is demand a little bit more from your customers as well. Particularly if you've got an environment where people come to see you, so you've got a retail outlet or a restaurant or anything like that. You're going to have new protocol and new procedures in place. Ask your customers to stick to that. don't wobble away from that. Um, Demand that actually that they do that for the safety of everybody. And actually, I've worked with customers. I've worked with clients before where we've agreed that the right thing to do is, if customers don't choose not to do that, it's not don't do it, they choose not to do it, is that they're asked to leave. And that actually makes you stand head and shoulders above everybody else, because everyone else is seeing how supportive you are being for the safety and well-being of them as customers. So demand a little bit more from them as well. Um, Announcements. So whether whether you've done this or not, have a little think about whether you can do a little bit more of this, and keep it going. So I would say avoid a fanfare necessarily, um, but um, but because a fanfare tends to be a big flash in the pan. So what it is about building excitement and having continual communication with your marketplace to make sure that you're building up excitement, announcing every step. So each piece that you go through, each element that you're doing, whether that's setting up things differently in your business, getting out to see new clients, um, preparing to see a brand new client that you've never met before. Make sure that you're announcing each step along the way. So that's what I mean by it. It feels less fanfare-ish then, like a big flash in the pan. It is actually more of a journey that you're taking people on, and you're communicating effectively with them. That will give your marketplace very much confidence in what you're doing, and also give you an opportunity to have a platform to share with everybody the great stuff you're doing as well as you prepare. Make sure that you tell everybody about every team member. It's much more important now that everybody gets to see everybody in their business. Some team members won't necessarily jump on that. I work with a client at the moment who is encouraging their team to be more front facing in social media. I think it's mega important at the moment because they're in retail and they are the people that their customers are going to see. So the more that they can get across to them in the right way, the great stuff they're doing, then the better. Announce every deal, announce your dates, whatever you're doing, whether it's deals, opening, just keep announcing, keep being there, keep being present, keep giving confidence, share photographs, videos, and whatever it is, just announce it. Celebrate as well with your customers, celebrate with your team as you run through that. In fact, funny enough, the next piece is all about celebration. So whether you are kind of opening and make it feel like it is a reopening, I could just see some of the businesses that are here on the call today. You don't need a shop or a retail place to do a ribbon cutting. You can do it in many different ways. So just get creative about how you do it. Stand out as you're communicating with your target audience. We probably all need to do this. Like, we all sort of breathed a sigh of relief a few weeks ago when, or a few months, a month ago now. So when lockdown was kind of eased a bit more, we're still here. We're still safe. We're working through this. This is tough sometimes, but we're still doing it. So let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate your team and what they're doing and what they're bringing to the table, because we know they're feeling it too. Your customers are. So your customers are wary about going out. They're coming to spend money with you. Celebrate that with them. Thank them. Thank your community and celebrate with them as well to being able to help you to achieve more through your business, and make it really memorable and newsworthy. So make sure that you're, if you can get some PR in there, make a bit of a story about it as well. If you're doing something really special, ring your local radio station and see if they can do a piece on with you, or your local newspaper, or even a local Facebook business page or something like that. See if you can get some PR around this as well, because it will really help you with people building know, like, and trust with you. So a lot of that is the kind of planning, communication, and team and practical stuff. But here's some elements that you must be focusing on. Numbers. Got to rerun your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And a lot of business owners that I talk to, they go into business because they're good at what they do. They're good at design, or they're good at building, or they're good at selling. Whatever it is that they're good at, they go into business because they believe they can earn more money doing it for themselves than they can working for someone else. And they're probably right. The thing is, when they do get into business, they then realize that they need to be the operations director, they need to be the technician, and they need to be the entrepreneur as well, all at the same time. And one of the pieces within there is numbers. So every decision right now is either going to make you money or it's going to cost you money. And you've got to figure out which one it is. Now, you've all got an individual risk profile, so I can't tell you what to do, but you need to balance that decision making process that you have with your own personal risk profile. I would encourage absolutely everybody to have a live, up-to-date cash flow forecast. If you don't know what your cash flow has been, speak to your bookkeeper or your accountant, or if you're on things like Xero or QuickBooks, then that might have one for you that you can pull down anyway. But project forward your cash flow forecast, understand where your costs might be, what you might be able to pull back, and actually what you need to go and earn. It starts to get the brain creative about going out and getting more business. This is about you looking at your numbers more often, not less often. Okay. Some people I talk to don't only look at their numbers at the end of the year. It's far too late then. Weekly's good, but if you can get your numbers weekly, how much money did I earn, how much money did I spend, and what have I got left over, that's a really good place to be. Some businesses can do that daily as well. Just depends on where you are and what you do. So if you can aim for at least weekly, that's really good. And understand your break even and profit break even. So let me just quickly show you the difference. So break even is how much does it cost you to run your business? Therefore, how much do you need to sell in your business that will make sure that the two numbers break even? That's okay, but actually I want everybody to have a mindset of profit break even. So that is how much does it cost me my business, plus how much profit do I want to make, versus how much money needs to come in to the business to do that, right? Because I want you guys to be paid. Everybody needs to be paid right now. So it should give you that, again, that mindset, that push to go out and get a little bit more. If you're getting government grants, so you're getting any support, might be loans, use that money wisely. Please hold on to your cash where possible. Understand that any investments that you might be making are going to give you the return that you expect at the end of it. Like, measure that, whether it's marketing, whether it's personal development, whether it's investing in a particular product. You've got to put in a system that measures that. And I always insist on that with all of my clients, is to make sure that we're measuring whatever we're changing. And it's quite alien to a lot of people because they just don't really understand how to do it to begin with. But slowly but surely we get into that rhythm, and it allows you to make decisions quicker. And as a result of making decisions quicker, then you can stop or continue and either make more money or stop you losing money. So here's a question for you. If I was to give you £1 million today to invest in your business, would you know where to invest that? And if the answer to that is, I'm not sure, then that's a really good place to be starting to think. Marketing, team, machinery, what would it be that would allow you to raise your game in your own business? And then work from that basis point. any money that you've got right now, make it work hard for you. Okay? Make it work hard for you. Great, I'm getting some lovely comments in that everything's really clear. Yeah, let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow throughout this. So a couple more points. We're on 3 more points to go. You've got to rethink your marketing and sales right now. Actually, so many people that I spoke to, the first thing they did when we went into lockdown was they just stopped marketing. And it's the craziest thing to do. You've got to market more now than you've ever marketed, because people need to know you exist. They need to know you're still alive. They need to know that your business is still open. Okay, so you've got to help and educate others on the benefits of what you do, and tell people that you are still there in business and you can help them with whatever it is that you're offering them. You know, what's the benefits of your business. Remember that the fear and worry is still around, and so you need to address that by avoiding being pushy, and avoiding being really salesy, but actually think about how to be marketing and selling empathetically. And I think if you can do that, then you'll attract the attention of more people. So what I do with my clients, and again, I'm happy to do it with people on the call. I'm going to share with you a link at the end that you can take away and book half an hour with me. You look at your marketing plan with your business partner, with your coach, with someone in your team. Complete a SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is looking at the strengths and the weaknesses of your business, and the opportunities and the very clear threats that are happening right now. Once you've got that down, actually it allows you to flow through and get some more ideas about what you can do, what actions you might take. Review your customers. Review your competitors, not your customers. Review your competitors. What are they doing? What are their pricing? What's their offers? What's on their website? Going to go and have a look at them. Go and do some market research. Have a little look at your customers' buying habits. Have they changed during lockdown? And what are their sort of fears and worries that are around there? So, and if you understand them and you ask them and you get that information, understand how you can change your business to be able to adapt to that, because this is all about adaptation and moving and changing. You know, what do you thinking about the things that you put in place might mean more steps. It might take longer for you to go through a sales process. If you can get video testimonials from people, ask them every single time. I can see a couple of businesses here that are definitely face-to-face businesses. You should be asking your clients for a video testimonial. They will gladly do it if you do a great job for them. Use those video testimonials on social media and other marketing avenues and channels. Okay. Get really customer centric. You know, ask more questions out there, and educate your customers about the benefits of using you. Make sure that you are testing and measuring whatever you're doing. Build a database, because you need that information, and build relationships so that you can actually culminate the two things into great results for yourself. Remember the biggest piece out of this: lose the pushiness. If you feel that you're a bit pushy on sales, just lose the pushiness. Empathy, sympathy with customers, build the relationship. You do nothing else but that. That's going to help you. Okay. Right, 2 more points. So number 8, time to re-thank everybody. The obvious people, your customers, clearly. You know, go and thank them. Go and write them a note, or send them something that knows that they know you're thinking about. So it's a really important way you have a database, right? Because you need to be able to keep in contact with them. Give them something. Send them something like Denise on there. I think she's still here. Oh no, she's got to go. But so one of the ladies on here, Denise, she's a self-employed house cleaner. do something special for each one of your customers. And give them a bar of chocolate, whatever it might be, just something nice, that knows that I'm thinking about you. Absolutely your team for sure. Look for every single opportunity for where your team has delivered something amazing for you. Okay, let your team know that how important they are to you, and do it in the right way that fits your values and your culture of your business. Think about your suppliers, your bankers, your accountants. So how are they helping you? If you're looking at your numbers more, you're probably asking more of your accountant right now. You're not. You need to ask more of your accountant right now. They need to be able to help you through with those numbers. Your suppliers might be, you might have longer payment terms with them at the moment because you're trying to balance your cash flow. Thank them for that if that's what's happened. It really helps when you give a handwritten note. Just says that you've stopped and thought about them and care about them. I know someone on the call today does that, and I know that she gets great response from her customers as well. But even the media or politicians, that are out there, just if there's anyone that's helped you, just stop and think and thank them. And also your fellow business owners that might be around too. I'm sure that they've given you lots of support, your network that are around you too. Okay, so look, the path for your business is going to follow one of these three lines. We've had this, and it's not for everybody. This is not atypical, okay? So, but it's just an example of where we might have had a really good start to 2020. Things were going really well, and then as COVID's kind of affected businesses, and we've had a lockdown and sales drop off, and now we're getting this eased restrictions in kind of May, June time. With businesses probably went one of three ways. They really had some cash flow challenges. And actually, some of those businesses might still struggle to survive through into 2021. And as sad as that is, there will be some healthy, strong businesses that have been around for years that just won't manage out of that. They're just not being able to change their business model quick enough. There's going to be a bunch of people who are tough trading. They're sort of now starting to build up, but it's tough and they're working very, very hard. And then there's buoyant traders. So there'll be people out there that are just in the right market at the right time, and actually they've really just springboarded off this. You can see where the blue line is and the blue star, we've got further restrictions. So I don't really know what kind of comes after this, but those people who've set up the right plan, set up the right mindset, got the team working well, promoted properly, will have less of a negative impact on their business than those who haven't. So all of these tips, if you've not done them, now's the time to do them. Because if you get them done, then no matter what happens in front of you, you're giving yourself the best chance possible. And that's what this is about. It's about the best chance possible. So have a little think about that. Drop in the chat. Where are you? Do you think you're going to be towards buoyant trading, tough trading, or having cash flow challenges? Just drop that in there at the moment, because that should into the chat, because that should get you thinking about what you might need to focus on. Great, thank you, Sarah. Okay, so yeah, there's some tough stuff going on right now. Yeah, and some tough challenges. Yeah, with drive, I love that. I love that. What an amazing mindset, Sarah. Yeah, with drive, I should be thriving, and absolutely you will be thriving with that mindset. Just keep focused on that. Keep focused on what's in your control, and push forward. Okay, rewriting your plan. If you've been in business, you will have had a plan of some sort. However, most people that I talk to, they will say that they've got a plan, but it's in their head, and they've not really shared it with anybody. And when a plan's in your head, it's not really a plan. It's too adaptable. It's too changeable. We've got to create a 90-day plan to survive and then one to thrive. So wherever you are at the moment, if you're already kind of on that drive to thrive, then you need to create one towards thriving. In a lot of senses, reopening and pushing forward is going to be harder than closing. all right, because it's a lot more energy to keep going than it is just to stop. So you've got to get your mindset right, your energy right. You've got to make sure you find your full stop, find your time to breathe, um, and remember that stopping and looking after yourself and your health, excuse me, and your well-being is the partner to you working. The two have to work together. You can't just work and you can't just stop, right? The two have to work together. Um, the plan is mega important. The detail that's in there that sets you forward and sets you above everybody else is really important, because right now we can't as businesses afford simple mistakes. We've got to see them before they happen. We've got to communicate that to our customers. We've got to communicate to our team and retrain them to make sure that the plan that we have is executed in the right way. We don't share that. If we don't write it down and it's just in our heads, then anything can really happen ultimately. So take a few days off, or a weekend to go through your 90-day plan. I run 90-day planning workshops. I've actually got one on Friday. In fact, I wasn't going to do this today, but if no one's got a 90-day plan and you need that help, you can come on my 90-day plan workshop tomorrow. Right, it's going from 11:15 till 1:30. If you need that help, just let me know, and I'll support you. I'll give you the templates and get you facilitated through a 90-day plan with a bunch of other like-minded business owners that you can network and share with virtually as well. So just talk to me after this. Do think negative as well as positive, right? You've got to think of the two things. Again, they work hand in hand. Understand what could happen and then go and fix it. Go and fix what's in your control. If you ever heard that phrase to, expect, prepare for the worst, but expect the best. So the positive thinking is really important, but actually you've got to prepare just in case anything could happen. That's why cash flow is important. That's why utilising the government's money in the right way is really important. And also, please get help. We can't do this on our own. I've got a coach, helps to coach me through my business. I've got a mindset coach. I've got a physical coach as well. They all help me to be the best that I can be today and every day. So find that help for you, whoever that might be. Know as well that there are loads of opportunities ahead. You'll see on here that we're probably at the moment somewhere around these two areas. Okay, we've gone from a lockdown where we can think about vision, mission, and products, and looking at systems and processes and stuff, into a bit of a warm up. So lockdown restrictions have eased a little bit, but now we've got a little bit more going on. So whilst we've had lockdown ease, actually there's a little bit more. We're probably about here, probably, but for each business it's a little bit different. So there's two things to do here. What do I need to do personally? Have I got my time management sorted? Have I got my mindset sorted? Am I taking care of myself and my energy? Have I got clarity and focus? Am I committed, and am I taking ownership of what's going on around me? And also, as a business, actually, what do I need to do? So have I got my team set up? Am I ramping up my marketing? Am I looking for opportunities and differentiating in the marketplace? Am I pushing maximum effort forward? Am I testing and measuring in the right way? Have I got my numbers sorted? It's all those things I've spoken about today. But without this, you can't shift yourself forward into this compete and grow, where we're getting consistency and continuous improvement and balance. So just you can take a snapshot of this and have a look, and maybe do a bit of a mark yourself out of 10 in each one of those bullet points, and see where you are and what you might need to do. So before we finish up, first thing, get learning. Understand where your gaps are. You might need to know more about marketing. You might need to know more about numbers. You might need to know more about leadership and team. Surround yourself in a learning environment. When you learn, when you ask questions, nobody can take that away from you. You can't learn enough. right now, and in life in general, in my view. Get planning, make sure it's written down, get it visual, get it up on a wall somewhere, and follow that plan. Change the plan if you need to. The goal should stay the same. Be really clear about that. Keep driving, keep pushing. It's going to be tough. There's going to be some days where you just feel it's uphill all the time. Just dig deep and keep going. Keep the legs pumping, keep the mind pumping. Right now, what I'd like you to do is just list 5 things that you need to do right now, okay? 5 things that you can take action on right now that you've heard today. I'm going to stop there just for a second. Sarah, yes, I can forward the recording from today. No problem at all. Please just take a minute now just to write down your 5 actions. And when you've written down those 5 actions, I'd love you to share at least one of them in the chat, please. Just one action that you are actually going to commit to doing out of today. Great, some of them are coming through now. Thank you very much. So finalize the marketing plan. You've been playing with it for several weeks. Yes, love that. Sarah, the great news is 80% of your marketing will fail, right? Statistically speaking. Now you say, why is that great news? Well, the great news is get on with your marketing plan, get on with delivering that marketing plan, because when you do that and you test and measure it, that's the most important thing about the execution of a plan. Then you know what you need to change and tweak. The more marketing you do, the luckier you'll get, the more successful you'll be. Default diary, yeah, Anita, default diary is a brilliant thing to be looking at right now. When am I going to have time for me? When am I going to have time for my team? When am I going to be planning? When am I going to be calling back customers, keeping in touch, celebrating? All those things can be sectionalized in the default diary. That means you actually do them. Otherwise, weeks and months go past and you forget to do those things. So thank you for that. So have a think about, how can we help? What can we do to help you? And also, any other thoughts, challenges, or opportunities, please do drop them into the chat. We've got 7 minutes left. I can go through some of those with you if need be, because I know you've all come on this webinar today for a very specific reason. I'm hoping that what I've covered has given you enough to go away with. If it hasn't, please book in a 30-minute coaching session with me. There's my Calendly link there, and I'll send it to you as well on email after this. I'd love to connect with you on Facebook and LinkedIn if I'm not already. Please do connect with me. Leave me a message, post something about today's session that you loved about. I want to help you, and maybe in return you can help me in that way, is just posting something positive about what you've taken away from today's session. If you need to email me or you need any support, that's my address, that's my phone number. Please do contact me, and I'll gladly support you however I can. As I said, I'm putting a series of these events on. Some of them are going to be looking at finance. Some of them are going to be looking at business numbers in general, like how do we generate leads and marketing and things like that, and testing and measuring those in the right way. Some of them are going to be looking at mindset, but I'm going to be doing a series of these because I really want to help my local community as much as I possibly can. Now, if you photo the slides, that's absolutely fine. Look, I want to share this, so that's what this is about. And I'm really pleased as well, Sarah, thank you for making that comment, helping you get focused again. That's what this is all about, shifting you from a point of stuck to a point of movement. This is all about action and just moving forward. So thank you for that. I'm really pleased. It's made my day actually that's happened. So thank you. Go and take action. Stay safe. stay um, stay focused on what you need to achieve. Look after yourself first of all. Look after your family. Look after your business and your team. Go and inspire people. That's what you're put on this earth to do. Go and do it. And I'll catch you all soon. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. And thank you again.